All right, we got a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. OpenAI just announced a new feature inside of Codex called Sites. They say building apps has never been easier. With Sites, Codex can turn your work, ideas, and plans into an interactive website or app your team can explore, use, and share with a URL, rolling out to business and enterprise plans first before expanding more broadly. Take a look at this video. So that's Sites right there. We have this from News Research. We have worked with NVIDIA to integrate their official agent skills catalog into the Hermes Skills Hub. These skills teach your agent how to use CUDA-X libraries, Omniverse, and physical AI workflows, NEMO training and inference tools, and other platform components. So huge news from News Research. We got this from Technium. The next evolution of Hermes Agent is here. The official Hermes desktop app is now available on all platforms. So you can go ahead and download the desktop app now. We got this here from Technium. Everyone using browser use for their browser tool through Hermes Agent just got an upgrade, referencing browser use, stating introducing new browser infrastructure, Chromium fork, Firecracker fork, and custom Linux kernel, 3x cheaper, and unlimited scaling. We got this from Claude devs. We've added a CLI for Claude platform to make every API endpoint runnable from your terminal. Call to messages API, stand up Claude managed agents, pipe results straight into your shell. The Ant CLI is well understood by coding agents, Claude Code, using the Claude API skill. Take a look at this. So that's Ant. Here we have Claude Dev stating that they've updated the fork command in Claude Code. Fork now runs a background agent with your exact context and prompt cache. The result gets returned to your session. In the branch command, the old fork command still copies the transcript to a new session you drive. Now, Anthropic has praised this new executive order that was put out by the White House around AI, stating this executive order is an important step in strengthening America's leadership in AI. We look forward to collaborating with the White House to support its implementation. And the executive order is promoting advanced artificial intelligence, innovation, and security. It's focusing on upgrading American systems for advanced AI. It's also focused on securing frontier model deployment, and is focusing on protection against criminal actors. Now, we got some news from Microsoft. They just introduced the Surface RTX Spark Dev Box. They state all the power developers need right out of the box. So this is huge here.
I'm falling, but I loved you still. Now I wonder, did you really ever love me? Dining on me only when I'm good. Now that I'm gone, what do you think about me? Do you think about me? Think about me? What do you think about? Everything's in bloom.
So that's the Surface RTX Spark DevBox. Here we have this from Microsoft, 7 new models launching at Build. Let's go. Reasoning, code, image, transcribe, and voice. Built from scratch on a clean data lineage, designed for efficiency, working seamlessly as a family of models. So here you have MAI Image 2.5, Image 2.5 Flash, Transcribe 1.5, Thinking 1, Voice 2 Flash, and Code 1 Flash. So 7 new models from Microsoft. Microsoft also announces Scout, an always on agent that keeps work moving, taking action without needing to be prompted each time. As Microsoft's first autopilot agent, Microsoft Scout works across Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, and more, taking action within the controls your organization sets. Take a look at this. So that is Microsoft Scouts. We also have this from Microsoft. They announced today that Microsoft unveiled Majorana 2, a next generation topological quantum chip developed with the help of Microsoft's Discovery's agentic AI. So look at this.
This is one of those rare moments when something that once felt beyond imagination suddenly feels within reach. Quantum is our most fundamental physical theory. It's really the low-level operating system of the real physical world.
For quantum computing to deliver real-world impact, it has to be both reliable and scalable.
Reaching quantum at scale will allow us to take a more direct approach to solving problems in chemistry,
The discovery of new material,
life sciences,
the way in which we bring drugs to market. It opens up millions of possibilities. Quantum will change the world, and this change is just beginning to happen.
So that's Majorana 2 for Microsoft. Here we have a huge update. Microsoft developer says we are excited to announce an optimized Windows 11 experience to help developers build and ship faster. They have core utils for Windows, a set of Linux-like command line utilities that run natively on Windows. WSL containers, a built-in way to create, run, and interact with Linux containers using familiar CLI and API. Intelligent terminal intentionally brings context-aware intelligence to your favorite agents directly into a terminal-based experience to help debug errors and run multi-step tasks so you can stay in your flow. Windows developer configurations powered by WinGit sets up a distraction-free dev environment with VS Code, GitHub, Copilot, WSL, PowerShell 7, and developer optimized settings with one command on any Windows 11 device. So pretty big updates there. AMD says AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus is available now. 16 cores, 32 threads, 40 compute units, 50 TOPS NPU, up to 128 gigabyte unified memory. Built on x86, it brings breakthrough local AI performance to the enterprise and developer workflows teams already use. No translation layer, no performance penalty, no workflow disruption. So that's huge from AMD. We got OpenClaw stating you can run OpenClaw inside your company now, and announcing their work with Microsoft to bring OpenClaw to the Microsoft and Windows ecosystem. Claws now work securely in the enterprise. And I just want to pause here to state how huge agents have come, how far they've come from just being an idea to people just trying it out to now corporations integrating them into their systems. Just huge momentum here. Google Gemini says easily add yourself to your video creations in Gemini. Here's how to create your own digital avatar that looks and sounds like you with Gemini Omni. Take a look. So that's Omni. Oops, excuse me. That's Omni from Google Gemini. Here we have Perplexity saying today we're announcing that hybrid agentic inference is coming to Perplexity Computer. Computer can split tasks between a local model running on your machine and frontier models in the cloud. This keeps private data on your device and maximizes token efficiency. This is coming soon, so look out for that if you use Perplexity. Dreamina AI says they're introducing Dreamina Octo. A new chapter in creation begins. Dreamina Octo is officially in beta, launching alongside Dreamina Seedance 2.0. Not just generating, exploring, shaping, and creating. In Dreamina Octo, the point was never about getting things done. It's the creative workflow between you and what you're making. So I want you guys to look at this because this is a really interesting video.
Ever since I moved, things have felt a little different. I'm never really bored anymore. Animals seem drawn to me. And I get so much more done at work. Not that I'm complaining, really. It's just sometimes I see the strangest things. All sorts of weird little moments. At first, I figured it was just me. But the doctor says I'm perfectly fine, 3 hearts, just like everybody else. What really feels different, though, is it feels like my 3 hearts have found their own separate rhythms. My pen pal told me to try and tune into that rhythm, to sync up and create something together, or just listen for a certain frequency.
Wait, have you been listening to too much jazz?
It felt pretty weird at first, but slowly, I felt myself slipping into the flow of the melody. I can even shape my own reality just by thinking. Wherever I look, my imagination just comes to life. This rhythm, it feels surprisingly good. Oh, right. We write to each other every single day, and I just know that's what makes my rhythm so completely unique.
So that's Dreamina Octo. I don't even really have words because AI video is already really good and now it's getting even better. So it's at this point, it's like, it's amazing to see how far AI video has come and where it's going. We got this from Google DeepMind. They state, we believe AI can be a dedicated research partner to help discover the next breakthrough. Enter Co-Scientist, their latest Gemini-based multi-agent system that can generate, debate, and evolve novel hypotheses for complex scientific problems. So here they have scientific discovery as a cycle of ideation, critique, and refinement. Co-Scientist mirrors this using a coalition of specialized Gemini-based agents leveraging its reasoning, multimodal, long context, and tool use capabilities. So that's that from Google DeepMind. We have this from OpenAI. They state they're making Codex more useful for your work by expanding plugins. So Codex can access 62 popular apps and 110 skills for work across sales, data analytics, creative production, product design, and public equity investing. They have translate data with the data analytics plugin for Codex. Bring your briefs to life with the creative production plugin for Codex. They have the product design plugin for Codex, stating turn your ideas into live prototypes. They have the sales plugin for Codex, sell smarter, they say. And they have the public equity investing plugin for Codex. So plugins are becoming so much stronger, so much more in depth, and you have many more options now that you can choose from when utilizing Codex and just coding agents in general. We have this from Claude. Interpreting law is one of the oldest jobs in the world. Co-founder and CEO of Legora is bringing it into its next era with Claude. And his bet is every new model release raises the tide, and Legora is building the boats for everyone else. Take a listen to this.
We are all experiencing this massive propulsion for the first time in history. And I think what's really exciting for us is we get to be at the heart of the legal industry. That is actually one of the oldest jobs in the world, interpreting the law and how we're going to structure our society. And I think that carries with it a lot of responsibility. Legora is the place where legal work happens, whether that's done by a human or by an agent or in collaboration. We help legal work move faster with reviews, drafting, and research, and we bind all of this together into a single cohesive workspace.
Why are Claude models specifically good for Legora?
A lot of the nuance in drafting and reviewing is very context specific. You want to match the style of the existing document. You might want to match the style of that lawyer in particular. And there we found the Claude models, especially Opus, extraordinarily good at the sort of fine drafting. This is profoundly changing the legal industry because no technology before has ever been able to work with language and reasoning like large language models. The very cool thing for us is that with each new model, new capabilities are unlocked. What's happening right now is every third month, you guys come up with something new, and it's very exciting. And it sort of raises the tide, if you will. And so we're thinking a lot about how do we build the boats on top of that rising tide so that our system gets better with every new model release. And we certainly saw this when we started embedding more and more of the Anthropic models into Legora. This exchange of ideas, what's working, what's not working, where do we need to push further, that has been incredible. I think when I look at differentiation, it's about how do we make sure that Legora has the highest velocity out of any company in the industry, so that if you place a bet on us and your firm or legal team goes all in on Legora, we're going all in on you. You're picking a software partner, an AI partner. The people who can harness the power of AI will do so much more in the future. And the sort of constraints about how much you can do is starting to disappear.
So that's that from the Legora CEO. We have this right here from Claude Devs, how to get Claude Code to check its own work before handing it back. Watch this so you can see how you can encode your manual checks so Claude closes its own feedback loop.
Most AI coding sessions follow a loop. You ask for a change, the agent gathers context, takes action, and responds. You check the result, ask for another change, and so on. It's like a turn-based game where every turn waits on you. Sometimes you have to go back and forth a few times until you get what you wanted. Because like humans, agents produce better work when they receive feedback. But the feedback doesn't always have to come from you. As models get better at coding and reasoning, they're also getting better at verifying their own work by observing the signals around them, like type checkers, tests, and runtime errors. Often, having these in your codebase is enough for Claude to understand what commands to run and how to fix the code. However, those checks are deterministic. They either pass or fail, the code works or it doesn't. What Claude can't always infer are the steps you take to manually verify a new feature or change. Those steps aren't usually in the codebase. So the more of those verification steps you can encode for Claude, the closer the first response will learn to what you had in mind. You will spend less time babysitting, fewer tokens on back and forth, and free yourself up to work on something else while Claude iterates. Let's look at how you can build those verification loops, and which Claude Code features to reach for depending on what you're building. A good place to start is to write down a best practices version of what you already do. If you're working on Web UI, that's probably run the dev server, open the browser, click around as if you were the user, check the console for any errors. For backend, you might hit an endpoint and check the status and the response. Every domain has its own version of this, but the shape is similar. Now, for each of those, there's something Claude can probably already drive in your place. For frontend, that could be the Claude Code Chrome extension, the desktop preview, and the Chrome DevTools NCP. Claude can open pages, navigate, take screenshots, read the console, and call Web Vitals. For backend, it can call the endpoint and read the response. For mobile and desktop apps, there's computer use, and the iOS and Android simulator NCPs. Whatever your manual check looks like, there's usually a way to hand it off to Claude. Once you have clarified your current workflow, you can encode it as a skill by invoking the skill creator and asking Claude to interview you. If you are struggling to articulate it, you can always ask Claude to help with domain best practices and to show you what an end-to-end verification flow might look like. Looking at the draft that Claude has created, we can see it has decided to verify the change using browser automation. Capture visual evidence, watch the console, and check features for regressions. Let's test this skill out. Here's a page that I have been working on. I know there's some layout shift on it, and I haven't got around to fix it. I'm going to ask Claude to work on something completely unrelated. Add a like button. Claude adds the button, checks it, and because it's a UI change, runs the verification pass on its own. The dev server starts, the preview opens, Claude clicks the like button to confirm it works, and it takes a screenshot. But the skill is also telling it to capture a performance trace through the Chrome DevTools MCP. So Claude reports back. The like button works, but there's layout shift on this page. It wasn't part of the task, but the skill caught it because checking Core Web Vitals is part of the workflow we created. This is a small example, but you can imagine as you encode more of your workflow, Claude's coverage grows. Finally, before you ship your ideas to the world, it's worth getting a second pair of eyes on it, or another agent. A second agent won't have the same biases as the agent who wrote the code. It has its own context, and it's not going to be influenced by previous conversations. This isolation can make the reviews more honest and catch things that the first agent might have missed. Here are a few options that you have for code reviews. The Code Review plugin spins up several sub-agents in parallel, each looking at the change from a different angle, scoring the findings for confidence, and posting the result back on the PR. And the Managed Claude Code Review feature runs automatically on every PR through GitHub for team and enterprise plans. Whichever you pick, it's helpful to have a last line of defense before merging. So at this point, you have two layers. There is the verification layer that runs while Claude is building your application, and then there's a second review before you merge from an agent that didn't write the code. Both of those are part of the same overarching development cycle. Think about how things look like now. You make a change, you clean it up, you verify it works, you commit, open a PR, you get it reviewed, and you keep an eye on the CI. You can actually roll these steps into one workflow by writing a skill that calls other skills. For example, the Claude Code team has a skill they run whenever they're shipping a feature. It calls the build and simplify skill to clean up the diff, custom verify skills to confirm that the change works end-to-end, a design check if the diff touched the UI, a step to open and subscribe to a PR, and one that watches CI and fixes failures as they come in. Alright, that is all for now. Your workflows might look different. The point is to hand off as much as possible so Claude can verify its own work end-to-end.
Well, there's that from Claude devs. And finally, I just want to show you guys this. Cursor said they're increasing their usage limits for every team user inspired by the success of their Ultra plan. They're also introducing a premium team seat that includes 5x usage at only 3x the cost. So there you have it for this video. Chock load, full of information. Hope you guys liked it. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel. And if you have any suggestions for videos you want to see in the future, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.